talk about counting it all joy, like the book of James says. How do you do that? Well, I've been reading a little bit about deep work. Man, that's a loaded book. That's got a lot of stuff in it. And one of the ladies that he was describing, another author, had described as she was going through cancer and the trials and tribulations of life, is to focus on good stuff. It's an activity in the brain. We work our brains to become more positive. And she said that she took charge of her life and it felt much better, even though she was in the midst of all those other things. And so then she went on to describe some research that was done. This lady's a scientist. And the MRIs that are done on young people studying the way their amygdala, I don't know, that's the source of our emotions, where emotions are stored and activated in our brain, and said that men and women that are young have that portion of the brain that responds to both negative and positives. And then the interesting comparison was with older people. Only positives affect that part of the brain. Why not negatives? And her theory is that the older you get, the more you realize to block out the negative crap, the fears, concerns, the stuff that drags you down, and to focus on positive things instead. She said to focus, to wrap your mind around, because we do become what we think about. We know that that's the case. Number two guy who was described in this particular part of the book spoke about getting into the flow. The flow being challenging work physically and mentally that makes us feel good. His contention was that people that are relaxing don't feel that joy as much. Now, I thought that was interesting. And I can validate that. When I feel like I'm accomplishing stuff. Now, if I'm doing a task that's just impossible for me to accomplish, I'm not in the zone. But balancing hard stuff with stuff I can do or accomplish hard things, I mean, that's what the zone is. And that gives me joy. And the third area, the third authors that he described were people that talked about getting into deep work, whether it was, no matter what the work was. You know, whether you're working on an assembly line or beating metal as a smith or whatever it is, or doing deep writing and thinking, that we take joy in deep work that has meaning, that has purpose to it. Deep thinking, purpose, in the zone, in the flow, positives. That's what I got for today. We'll catch you next time.